I was listening to Tackle Talk podcast yesterday, and they released a good one with a fisheries research scientist, Colin Dassau, I believe his name is. And he touched on something that really hit home for me. I wanted to briefly go over that. His research has shown that catching fish is not data. That was the idea of what they were talking about. And what he meant by that is many times, I've seen this many times, fishermen can be catching fish, be happy with the lake, and make assumptions that that lake is healthy and doing fine. But in actuality, when you go collect the data, it could be on a decline. On the flip side of that, our data could show a perfectly healthy fishery, and all the fishermen swear up and down it's on a decline because they're not catching as many fish as they used to, or not catching fish well, or, you get the idea. This is something I've seen many, many times. And one real world example that jumps out for me is in pond management. I always recommend to guys, don't stock crappie in your pond. And I always get blowback about that. But it's because of how I look at a data set and how they're trying to prove their point with no data. Let me explain. Crappie spawn earlier in the spring, so their fry can eat the bass fry as soon as they're born. You can lose a bass population completely due to that. But the adult crappie and bass in a small environment compete with one another for food, and crappie aren't the best forage for bass. So you'll see really underweight bass right alongside crappie. It's real consistent. And when you look at the data set the right way, you can see it, even if you don't sample the crappie. Sometimes in the summer and fall, the crappie will be packed up and stay away from your electrofishing boat. You might not electrofish any up, but you can still see the poor bass weights, get an idea that something's competing with the bass because of the data. So for example, when I say stuff like that, I always get guys who hold up like this 25, 26 inch bass that weighs 8 pounds as proof that crappie and bass can exist together. All right. But what they're not understanding is a 25 inch bass to me should weigh 9.3 pounds, not 8 pounds. The standard weight is 9.3. They don't understand that data. They don't understand that fish is severely underweight. And I just wanted to make that point and put that out there. Thanks for watching.